Right, welcome ladies and gentlemen. The How to Train Your Dragon live action trailer was released yesterday. Pretty much everything was exactly the same. Aside from one thing. Astrid has been revealed. Not white, not blonde. Not quite sure what they're doing there. Oh, wait, we know what they're doing there. I myself could not talk about the trailer specifically. Couldn't do a reaction video to it or anything like that. Because Universal, in their amazing wisdom, love to do copyright claims. They will never release them. And so as a rule of thumb, I don't actually sit around to do any videos on Universal products, just generally speaking, until I do a review of it. Because I don't want to be promoting a company that abuses the copyright system on YouTube. Because it is an abuse of the copyright system. However, this isn't promotion. This is to say that they've bet really big on this movie. In fact, so big, I'm not quite sure where the profit margins are going to be on this. So I thought we'd take a look at it, basically. And as you can see here, How to Train Your Dragon's pre-production costs soar past $50 million. That's just pre-production. It's before they've shot anything. They haven't done anything at this point, really. $50 million. The last time I heard figures like this, it was to do with The Acolyte. And that ended up just a bloated mess of a production. So, again, it does look good, right? You know, despite my pre-ramble there and statements to do with Universal, I watched the trailer and it did look good. Like, it genuinely looked good. This is perhaps one of the best CGI dragons in this style, you know, animated, sort of cartoonish looking, that I've ever seen. It looks near identical. Toothless looks near identical to how he does in the animated one. Although slightly changed and adjusted for live action, but in the best way possible. There's nothing where you look at it and go, that was a weird change. They've just taken the cartoonish image and, I guess, streamlined ever so slightly. They've added a little bit more texture, a little bit more animation, you know, sort of shadow lines, facial structure lines, things like that. But it looks brilliant. So, as much as I'm ragging on it, I watched the trailer and I was actually really, I was like, this looks great. But is there much commercial viability in a shot-for-shot remake of quite an old property now? I don't know. So let's take a look. This is on Forbes. Hit subscribe if you're new here, by the way, guys. Do turn those bell notifications on. And if you like what I do here, please do support the channel via Patreon. It's the first link down below in the description box. And it would really help the channel out because, of course, YouTube, they love to do strange things. They love to nerf channels that go slightly against the grain. And yeah, they're doing that to mine currently. So support the channel via Patreon for as little as $2 a month. Anyway, let's take a look. So Universal Pictures, it says here, has revealed that it spent more than $50 million on its upcoming live-action How to Train Your Dragon movie before filming even began, which is quite insane, to be honest. Universal is betting big on the children's movie, as it is the first live-action remake of one of its DreamWorks animated films. If How to Train Your Dragon is a success, it could be the first of many remakes, as DreamWorks' roster also includes the wildly successful Kung Fu Panda, Shrek and Madagascar movies. It has a powerful precedent, as Disney remakes of its classic cartoons have given a magic touch to the studio's bottom line, as Forbes have reported. They've done, like, billions of dollars, obviously, accumulatively. But I do feel like it's super lame that... I mean, people rag on Disney for doing their live-action remakes as well. This is pathetic. Create new things. This is pathetic. Constantly going back to old IPs just to do a live-action, one-for-one remake of it, aside from some slight ethnic changes here and there, it's just creatively bankrupt. It's so dumb. So it says here, it makes sense for Universal to start with How to Train Your Dragon, as its trilogy of animated features cumulatively grossed $1.7 billion and earned 4 Oscar nominations. But that's the thing. 3 films, cumulatively $1.7 billion. That's not a lot of money. Across 3 films, that's not a lot of money. It's a lot of money, but across 3 films, it's not a lot of money when you then have to think about the live-action production budgets that have to come into this. That's not good. So the live-action version is due to be released in June next year and stars teenager Mason Thames, who got widespread acclaim for playing the lead role in Scott Derrickson's 2021 horror film The Black Phone. In How to Train Your Dragon, he plays Hiccup, a young Viking who shuns the family tradition of killing dragons when he befriends a cute winged creature called Toothless. Well, he calls it Toothless. So, yeah, I mean, Gerard Butler's in it, and you've watched it, so I'm not going to talk about what the bloody, what the film's actually about. But look, the teaser trailer is good. Like, it's a good teaser trailer. But we have this, right? So they basically shot a lot of this in the UK, which means that they are, they're able to get the cash reimbursement, the audio-visual expenditure credit in the UK, which just means we're basically paying them to make movies here. And it's quite crazy, to be honest. So they shot this in the UK, and there's some financial statements which they filed, which have to be public. And it's a lot of money. So the latest filing for Toothless Productions, which is what they headed it under, was lodged last week and shows up by December 31st of 2023. A total of $53.5 million had been spent on making the movie. Now that covered pre-production period, as principal photography didn't begin until January. Right. So $53.5 million before cameras even started rolling. And they didn't really get much for that, to be fair. 119 employees worked on it. 9 months, which is quite a lot. It's quite a lot, to be fair. So the financial statements show that the company banked $10.6 million reimbursement, bringing its net cost down to $42.9 million, which is obviously still a lot. But yeah, there was quite a lot of crew members, craftsmen, because they built full-size sets, which, sure, that makes sense. But we still don't have, and again, it says a lot of the practical sets, so it's not like standing in front of a blue or green screen. But they still did have blue or green screens. So this is going to be astronomically high, I think, actually, the budget. And it says here, Butler added that his authentic Viking costume took its toll on him. And quite probably the budget too. The cost of custom clothing came to light in a recent report, which revealed that one of the costumes in Deadpool and Wolverine had cost $100,000. So Butler's obviously going to be... I don't know. They would have had to have made quite a lot of them, I think, because he was wearing it pretty much all the time. So this is astronomically high. We don't actually know what the budget's going to be fully, but $50 million just in pre-production costs. I can't imagine this is going to be made for much less than $200 million. Which, if that's the case, that's really quite high. That's really quite high. And that puts this on a course to not necessarily struggling to make money, but struggling to go into a lot of profit. I think this will make money, but, this is a bad move for Universal to go around just trying to remake their animated features. It's creative bankruptcy. Again, despite the fact that this looked good, but it is just shot, it's just one for one. Again, aside from one person's ethnicity, which is just stupid. So this is dumb. It's way too much money. Creative bankruptcy. But I'd love to hear your thoughts. So let me know down below in the comments. If you're new here, do hit subscribe. Turn those bell notifications on. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye-bye now.